Good morning, good evening, everyone. Right, with so much going on in India, um, with um, the Parliament passing this Citizenship Amendment Act, which is horrible to be very honest, and I have all the sympathy towards Muslim population in India. And I just wanted to take you through my analysis as to what I think this Amendment Act is going to bring to a lot of those Muslim citizens of India and other minorities as well. And this is really a sad news for all of us. Okay, let me begin my presentation. Right, here it is. Um, I've heard the Home Minister of India and his speeches within Parliament, and he has made it very clear that this act has been brought in because Congress, the opposition party in India, divided country based on religion. Had they not done it, I would not be standing here with this um, bill based on religion. This is a very pathetic statement to make in the parliament. I think only the politicians, uneducated politicians like the current Prime Minister and Home Minister of India can make. It doesn't make sense to any of the educated people around the world, and it, I believe, is 100% religion-based discriminatory act, which is introduced in order to take all the rights of Muslim citizens in India. It's the beginning of a um, second Israel in the world, where Jews took Israel over from the Muslims, and a similar thing is now happening in India. And I also believe that the only agenda behind introducing this act is to lay grounds for a Hindu Rashtra, which is a nation of Hindus. So they want India to be a dedicated nation for Hindus, so that um, Hindus can call it home, and Hindus from since they are the known minorities across the world, they can go back uh, to this new home anytime in their lives, and they wouldn't be asked a question as to whether you were born in India, or how they can come and just live in India. So currently there was no provision to allow for any um, known citizens to just come on board and you know become an Indian citizen. However, now um, people, lots of people come from the neighboring countries such as Bangladesh, Pakistan, and they just live illegally. Um, and hence why this act would help all the Hindus and other um, minority religions which are part of this act to claim this Indian nationality excluding Muslims. So either Muslims which are affected in Assam right now will have to accept Hindu as a religion or leave India and move to wherever they've come from. That's the ideology. However, this would also apply to many of the born in India Muslims going forwards. I'm going to cover this in my next slides, but here we go. Home Minister blamed Congress for this. However, why repeat their mistakes? So that's the simple question nobody I saw in the parliamentary debates dared to ask Honorable Home Minister. Why did they not ask him as to why he's referring to Congress when they they are in opposition and none of their policies have so far been admired by the ruling party. So why now? Why are you trying to accomplish something which was started by the Congress party, but you don't believe in it? So it's an ironic situation that you are believing in something um, which could help your intentions, and you don't want to believe in their ideology when it's not helping in your intentions to make India a Hindu Rashtra. And along with CAA, there are also talks. It was made very clear by the Home Minister that NRC will be rolled out soon across India. So, and this will be purposely used to strip citizens of their citizenship. So, you know, and also to make the government a lot of money at this time of recession. There's purely India is in crisis at the moment, and I believe uh, rather than focusing on those issues, the government has chosen to divert public attention to all these religious matters, which are not going to help the economy, not going to create any jobs, not going to help deteriorating public health, or not going to assist in living costs, which are um, you know, leaping and to the highest in at least 50 years, which is very shameful. Right, government says do not join in RCCA together, and yet it's their only purpose to use them jointly against Muslims when they intend to do so. Very correct statement. So imagine this scenario that since all of the rest of the other minorities have already been included in CAA, if you are asked to prove your nationality, you will have to, and this has already been discussed by many experts and seniors in politics and across other um, educational, economic, and historians. So, what they all believe is that a lot of people in India still do not own a document to prove their nationality. And those are the ones which will be mostly affected due to NRC, and it will be up to the government department which issues these documents to help these people attain one of these documents which would help them prove their nationality. And an instruction from the government, these departments can very much deny issuing this document to Muslims, for instance. And just consider the scenario, which is very possible, that the department which issues government IDs decides or gets instructions from the government not to issue any new documents to Muslims. The Muslims will be fucked up, and they cannot even claim any sort of citizenship via CAA because they are not part of this act. And as for NRC, then they will be illegal citizens of India. It will then be very easy for the government to strip them of their properties, um, um, fire them from their jobs based on this reason alone, even though they will then have to struggle, prove themselves, obtain some sort of identification, or a proof of the properties that they own. Uh, so in this process, they would already have lost their jobs. So this is affecting. This is going to make them weaker, first of all, since they won't be able to support their lives as usual, and that in itself would be very detrimental to their lives in India, and it's definitely definitely make them weaker, which would make them start thinking about either um, fighting for their own rights or to run away for the sake of protecting their families and starting a new life elsewhere. However, those options will be very limited, so they will live a life of illegal citizens of India whereby they would not be offered any kind of benefits and they wouldn't have any right on any of the public um, services, properties, healthcare, and which is, like in a way will help reduce Muslim population in India, which is what they think Pakistan has done with the Hindus, and this is what they intend to do with Muslims in India and make India a Hindu Rashtra. Right, so I think I've already explained everything I have mentioned on this slide. I urge everyone to go through this, read it, and please help save India. Please, let's keep it a secular heaven on earth. It's really the most admired country um, where so many different cultures and religions have prospered together. Um, and this is, although mistakes which were committed by the Nehrus and the Gandhi family in 1940s and 50s, we are past that mentality, and generations have now passed, and people have more education at their uh, disposal. People are um, wise enough to not fall prey to this religion-based act, and I support the protests which are ongoing in India across all the different universities, and I urge every citizen to come forward, help these students, and I also wanted to congratulate JMN and JMMN Congress um, to have won the elections in Jharkhand, and let's together wipe out BJP and save India. Jai Hind.